for the first week, especially, it was like I kept thinking back about the night, and I kept seeing like the whole night to a point where like I couldn't, and I kept trying to remember things, but I couldn't, and I still can't. Um, I think it's just like the scary parts are the what ifs because it's unknown for me. I know the bits that my friends told me kind of help to know like most of the nights I was with people, and that kind of made me a little bit more secure in a way. But there's still some unknowns that are still a bit scary for me. Um, so I'd say like it's more mentally than physically. Uh, I'm trying to like cope with it. I think like even the first week, because I had a good world championships as well. It was like one of my best meet in a while, and I was like really pleased with the performance I had, and it was actually my first like big international medal that I got there. And I just remember like opening the box back home, and I didn't feel like it belonged to me. I didn't feel like the body I was in belonged to me. I was just going through the motion. And I think that's the sad part about it, because this wonderful meet I had was tarnished by this event, and it was just like a roller coaster of emotions. It did help. I asked a bunch of people because there was a lot of swimmers there. So most of them were from different countries also. So I was like saying goodbye because it was also the last time I would see some of my friends from other country in a while. So I was kind of like saying goodbyes and taking care of people. But um, the friends I was with the most kind of helped me fill the gaps. But there's still this window that is from when I was okay to when I was not to when they found me on the street and they were looking for me. That is still unclear. And that's the scary part that is still missing from that
Mhm.
night, I guess. I did not because it happened in Hungary. So it's kind of difficult to reach like do this overseas and stuff like that. And to be honest, I didn't really think much about it the first 24 hours because it was just like a blank, and I was like on the plane and stuff. And for it to really sink in was after the travel day when I got home. I was taking my clothes off to take a shower after the travel day and saw all the bruises on my body. And that's when it kind of like sinked in that it was not okay what happened. I don't have the name. We did all get an invitation from a swimmer. I think a swimmer from Hungary organized this. I know at that event there was swimmers, but also non-swimmers. When I woke up, I didn't have my purse. I had like nothing, no phone, no wallet, nothing. Um, Thankfully, I went back the next morning and they still had it. So nothing was lost except a disposable camera, which I think would have kind of helped to kind of piece the night together. But at the same time, I was just really happy to not have lost anything because I had no idea where would I have put it. So after what happened, me and one of my friends kind of like asked around if some similar situation happened. We did hear from other swimmers that I was not the only one. And after I posted my stories, I've heard about people's name also, but I'm the first one that came forward with this. Hopefully, by sharing my story, it would help them share theirs as well. But at the same time, it's their story, and I can't talk for them because everyone has their own issues and everyone goes through it differently. But I've heard about other incidents in that night also. I personally have not been in contact with FINA. I think Swimming Canada has been. I know that there is an investigation that's gonna happen about this because I was not the only swimmer, and I think it's something we need to shed lights on. But right now, it's still under process. That's the thing that pushed me to post this. Basically, when I got home, it didn't really sunk in, like I said, until like I saw all the bruises and stuff. The next morning, I went to training and I kind of like broke down a little bit, and I was really scared because seeing the bruises made me feel like maybe something happened and I didn't know, or just it got me scared. And then at the end of the practice, I called one of my friends who was aware of the situation, and her mom was a doctor, and they kind of like convinced me to call and like try to seek help to actually get some help and see if anything happened. So after I ended the call, I called the line that is supposed to like help victim in these type of situation. And that's when I got like struck by the lack of resources we have and the lack of resources victims have for these situation. Basically, it's kind of hard because you call them, and obviously for me, I couldn't really tell the story clearly. It's just like bits by bits. So it was a bit everywhere, and I was like trying my best, and it was still like something scary to share for me because that was the first time I would tell someone I didn't know what happened. And I still felt shame when I told her that. And she listened, and then it was silent, and then I was just, so what do you think I should do? Like, I don't know what to do. What do you think? And she told me that there was like only two places in Montreal. One of them was a hospital, like you could go to the emergency and they had the kit for it. But she said that I shouldn't go there. It would not be useful because I was traveling and stuff, and like I should just go to the other place, which was a clinic specialized in these type of situation. And she told me, but I have to make an appointment. So she gave me her contact info, the contact info of the place, which I called right after. Tried to call and no one answered. It was like 9 o'clock on a weekday. And I was scared, but I left my info for them to call me back. And I had to wait 2 days till I got an answer. So by the time I got an answer, I already saw another doctor just because I was scared I had anything else. So in the end, it was too late for me to actually get the right treatment for what happened, which kind of make me sad because I think for people that actually know if they got violated or stuff, I don't think you should wait 2 days for to get treatment because it's too late, and people that did these stuff get away. When I saw the like normal doctor, if I can say it this way, he said that I had I know the word in French. I think it's like rib sprain. Not 100% sure in English. In French, it's called endoscostal. And I had a small concussion. I felt judgment mostly because like it it isn't like on my forehead when I was like not conscious. It didn't say I was drunk. People would just see a girl who's unconscious, probably wasted because she's out of the club. And that's the first judgment that people say because how would they know what happened? And I think it's a judgment everyone says when they see someone unconscious next to a club or whatever. And at the time, that's the first thing that came to my mind. I was like, I know something is not right. And even though I was telling people, some of them were like, you probably just drank too much. Like maybe next time you'll think about this and like you'll be more careful. And in the back of my mind, I was always like, I like it, it's not like I don't feel like that happened. And I was in control the whole time until I can't tell anything. Like I can't recall anything. And I felt shame because I started to believe what everyone was saying. And I was like, maybe I'm just crazy. Maybe it was my fault. And it, I kind of went into this cycle of like, oh, I should have been more careful. And I don't know, even at home, I felt this like judgment towards everyone. But um, I started to talk to some of the people that were there and some of the people that saw me and stuff. And it kind of like made me realize that I was not really crazy. And when I talked to some people, it kind of like shed lights on I shouldn't feel this way. Like this isn't something that victims should go through. And I feel like they all go through this because it's not written on our forehead that we were drugged. I try to talk to some of my friends and be a little bit more open about it and talked a little bit. They were kind of like my psychologist in a certain way to help me cope with it. And then I got COVID Wednesday, so I'm been secluded right now, so I can't go anywhere. But it's in the plan for the close future. I think it's really important, especially right now, because I think there's multiple cases that are happening right now, and we don't think about it. We don't talk about it enough. Um, I've tried reaching out to like seek help, and I was really shocked by the lack of resources we have on this situation that's been like happening for a long time, and it keeps increasing as the years goes. And I when I shared this, I had a lot of people coming up to me and like even writing to me about similar stories that happened to them and felt the same way I do. And some of them, it's been like 20 years ago and they still feel shamed about this. And it breaks my heart knowing that so many people went through this and it's still something we don't talk about. And the resources for victims is still lacking. And it's kind of funny in a way, but not really. But as I was like hearing stories from other people, I kept being like, that's not their fault. Like they didn't ask for it. And I should listen to my own advice and say, like, I didn't ask for it and it's not my fault. But I think it's important to raise awareness towards this because it can happen to anyone. And even like me, I thought I was safe. I was with friends and stuff and it wouldn't happen, but it did. And I just never thought I would. And I think it's important to raise awareness towards that. I don't know about you guys, but if someone was gonna ask, like, oh, do you know like any places where you can find resources at the moment? Like, I can think of any. I had to make some research after that happened to find a phone number and then to know that there's like only two places in Montreal that does these type of situation. I think the general public doesn't really have the tools to deal with this or even like try to be more conscious when we're there and it can happen even when you're with friends. In my head before that, I was thinking, oh, it can't happen to me. It doesn't happen that often. And I'm with friends, so I'm safe. But sadly, it does happen a lot. And even when you're with friends, it can happen. So I think it's more to be aware of this. And I think to like have more resources, even statistics and stuff like that. I tried to look online and I couldn't find good sources and stuff like that. And it's crazy to think about because it's something that happens every day, everywhere. Physically, I'm getting better. The bruises have started to fade away, which I'm quite happy about because I think the first week always see them was like a constant reminder in a way. So they've started to fade away, which I'm thankful for, and I'm a lot less sore. I think like the first week I was doing gym and it was like I couldn't do some exercise, especially like upper body stuff because my ribs would hurt. Um, but physically, definitely getting better. Mentally, it's a process. Definitely in the right track, I think. Like I said earlier, like I think the Mary from last week wouldn't have been able to talk to all of you guys and post what she did on Wednesday, but I am a lot better, I guess, in that way this week. And I think it's just day by day to kind of cope with it and be okay with it. And sharing my story also made me realize that it did happen to a lot of people, and I'm not the only one in this situation, which is sad. But it also, like, I think it helped people, and it also helped me see that we're not alone in this and it doesn't define us.